Hi there, and welcome to another Global Storm Outlook. We're looking down at South America and North America. There's lots of stuff to brewing up in the saison. Let's have a look. Over South America at the moment, we've got some thunderstorms in the eastern Amazon chugging away. There's some in Colombia up here, and also a bunch in Peru over the Andes. If you want to just see the lightning strikes, the group energy density is the lightning, and to see them by themselves you just remove the color, geo color. And this is in RAM-MB slider. There's kind of a nice vicious looking extratropical cyclone moving into southern Chile down here. Quite a vicious looking thing. This is southern Chile down here. I wonder how strong the winds are. We might be able to see on the scatterometer. Nope, couldn't find a decent parse, so let's look at the forecast. Here's the European Centre surface winds, and you can see the system actually doesn't have as strong winds as this one in the southern Atlantic. These are approaching hurricane force. But this one has a very nice spiral to it, which is why it has that nice cloud feature. That system kind of just spins itself out hangs around the southern tip of South America, and then another system moves in further to the north, bringing strong winds into the Puerto Montt area by Monday, Tuesday. Taking a look at Europe, it looks like we've got a low pressure off the British Isles, and there have been thunderstorms big time in the UK. I've seen some really nice lightning pictures. So there's a low down here by the Azores. What's this? A little low in northern Italy. A lot of rain has been in and is going to continue in southeastern Europe. Meanwhile, Scandinavia is hotto motto. Really hot. These are the temperature anomalies, or differences of temperature from normal for Europe, and I've just realized that the tropical tidbit site actually cuts off Scandinavia, which is a bit of a shame. But anyway, you can see that it is much hotter than normal, about 10 degrees to more than 12 degrees in certain areas of Norway and Sweden. And going ahead, it actually looks like this is going to continue through the week, even a bit hotter into Sweden there. That's up to, yeah, that's in the 12 degrees. And actually all week in Sweden and Norway it's above normal, and particularly Norway very much hotter than usual. The other thing is dust. You can just make out the Saharan dust moving in over Greece down here. It's not as thick as it could be, but there's definitely some lurking out there. I think I'll cover that in the Africa section. So let's move on to Africa. Africa has what looks like a easterly wave complex of thunderstorms over here. That's Niger, and this is Cameroon. That's Cameroon. That's Nigeria. Yes, Nigeria. Okay, so and then you can see all the dust. There's a lot of dust coming off the Sahara into the Atlantic. And the islands that you can see here these are the Cape Verde Islands, named those Cape Verde hurricanes originate around this area, why they have that name. And then up here we've got the Canaries, and these are the Azores. And the Azores is actually usually known for its high pressure, has a high pressure named after it, but look, at the moment it actually is a center of a low pressure. So the Azores are low today. If you want to check the dust forecast, a good place to go is the Barcelona Dust Forecast Center. Just Google it and it'll come up, and then that shows all of the dust pouring out over the Atlantic, as well as that dust going into Greece, and some activity over the Middle East. A bit of a top scale dust storm there on the 14th. These dust events over the Atlantic, they develop over several days, and in fact I've had to go back to June 5th in order to get beyond the origin of that dust storm. So I'm looking at the Suomi NPP VERS, and if we go forward to June 6th, you'll see the dust pouring out really thick off the Sahara, and these are the Cape Verde Islands with the Canaries up here. And then going forward, you see it pour out over the islands and continues off into the Atlantic and then sort of spreads out. So actually it was at its more thickest earlier several days ago. I did not know that at the time, but there is actually a quite thick band on June 13th. The Middle East is absolutely cooking hot, with many places well over 40 Celsius. And meanwhile, off over towards India, we've got the monsoon with all of these thunderstorms and rain showers spreading over a large area of India right now. Looking at the winds for the North Indian Ocean up here, you can see the winds pouring in off the Arabian Sea and into India, characteristic of the monsoonal flow. Pretty strong winds, but look as we go forward just how persistent it is. It just goes on with this kind of jet over off the coast of Somalia, and this was presumably a important trading mechanism for getting goods from Africa into India. I'm speculating there. I guess it I was right. The point is, if you sail this route, then you know it's going to work out pretty well, providing the winds don't get too strong and tip your boat over. You'll be chugging to India in no time, although it is quite a long way. I have to take a quick gander at Japan because we've got the Mayu front, which kind of goes through this area. It's brought a lot of heavy rain into southern Japan, a lot into southern China too. And I'm up in Sapporo, so I want to know if we're going to have some thunderstorms, because a few days ago we did have some really nice thunderstorms. And maybe there's something. I've zoomed into the European Centre forecast for thunderstorms according to Windy TV. Anyway, this is for Monday, and this is Hokkaido. I'm in here in Sapporo. And moving forward on Monday, as we go through, this is evening on Monday, there's some, looks like some weak thunderstorms in the Sea of Japan. This is actually tomorrow evening. So tomorrow evening does look like a possibly we might get some rumbles of thunder in Sapporo. Well, now I'm a bit curious, so I'm going to take a quick look at the sounding for predicted by the Global Forecasting System model for Monday, tomorrow afternoon, which is 6Z afternoon. So we click on the map over Sapporo and take a look. Okay, there is a tiny bit of Cape and some sheer, not much. So it looks a bit marginal. Doesn't look anything like what it looked like a few days ago when the sheer was much more and we got some really good lightning, but hopefully we'll get a rumble. Jumping over to North America, and it looks like there is some pretty vicious looking thunderstorms down in the southwestern Caribbean. It looks like a big issue for the US is a critical fire danger outlook on day 1. And there we go. So we've got into Oklahoma, Kansas, and eastern Colorado. And what is this puffy bit? And it looks like, on reading the discussion, that there are sort of moderate winds developing in these areas associated with mid and upper level troughs. And then in this area, they're saying there's a possibility of some dry thunderstorms, so that could set off fires. Winds aren't exceptionally strong, but the humidity is very low. This shows the winds and humidity from Windy. Rather nice, but because the humidity is so low, it's kind of all oranges, and it gets worse. because as we go forward you can see the whole southeastern United States becoming very orange. I mean, ridiculously orange in this southerly flow. It's very, very dry, and if you click on Windy TV you do get the humidity directly, so that's at 22%. It does go down to lower than that. You can get down to 6% heading into Arizona. Yeah, very dry. So it's dry all throughout this area. But anyway, the thunderstorms are... Actually, maybe the thunder is going to pop up then. Ah, look at that. Well, so you got to go to minus several hours. So I think that's probably after. Yeah, so that's the thunderstorms picking up in the afternoon over in New Mexico and then into Colorado. But I think it's these ones that they're concerned about. And you can see there isn't much precipitation. They're dryish thunderstorms. Huh. The problem here being that if you get lightning and no rain, that's not good. That's fire trigger stuff. So let's wrap this up by looking at the global precipitation forecast for 10 days about. And there are a couple of things of note. Off South Africa, there is a heavy rain event in the GFS in the forecast. Well, maybe it's virtually nothing. Let's check the date. Dates are up here. So, there it is. 19th, 18th, 19th of June. Something offshore, heavy rain there. I don't know why I'm focusing on this, but it just looks like a weird little odd thing I haven't seen before. Got the monsoon chugging away, and looks like over eastern India, northeastern India mostly, but also look at the persistent rains in western India, going into the Western Ghats mountains. Lots of heavy rain. Lots of rain there. But you know what is noticeable is the lack of tropical cyclones. Where are the tropical cyclones? Nothing. Nothing. Oh, wait. What's that? Right at the end of the forecast, the GFS, of course, wants to spin something up. There it is. So that's way out there. Late June. 20th of June, possible TC. And so there's not much going on in the West Pac in terms of tropical cyclones. And their other thing is Eastern Australia has a somewhat event, or looks like an up-level low spinning off possible East Coastal low. That is around that's also around the 20th. So these are pretty late in the forecast. What else? Europe is tucked in on this diagram. And yeah, okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video or learned something new, then you may find other videos on this channel of interest. Hitting the like button and subscribing really helps to support this channel. To get the latest videos, don't forget to enable all notifications.